Good morning. I'm Pastor Steve of the Warrior Christian Fellowship. Glad you could be part of the devotional time today. I hope you find these devotionals helpful for you, and I hope they help just richen your spiritual experience a little bit each day. You know, the last couple of days we talked about Peter getting out of the boat, and the first day we talked about the excitement in the Christian life is when we take a step on faith when God is calling us into something. And Peter did. He said, Lord, if you call me to come to you, I'll get out of the boat. And Jesus said, come, and he got out of the boat and he walked on the water. Everybody else kind of sit in the boat or sit in the pews, so to speak, and got to watch something wonderful happen, but they didn't get to experience it like Peter did because he took the step of faith. And then yesterday we talked about what happens when you get to thinking that you can do this or you can't do this, and you kind of take your eyes off the Lord, and he began to sink. And that's what happens. If we step out on faith following Jesus and then we start to try to do it on our own or think we're doing it on our own, we're really subject to fail. But the interesting thing is what I want to talk about today. When Peter got out of the boat, he looked around and saw what was going on, and he began to sink. He got scared. He says, I can't do this. But he could do this because he was doing it. But when he started to sink, he said, Lord, save me. And this is all in Matthew 14, if you want to read it. But he says, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus lifted down, picked his hand, and lifted him up. And that's what Jesus does. When we're following him and then we get into trouble, we can call to him for help and he will save us. And Jesus said to Peter, O ye of little faith, why did you doubt? I don't think he was scolding Peter. I think he was trying to encourage Peter. He says, look, Peter, you were so close to getting it right. You got out of the boat. You took a step of faith. And you were doing something, a miracle I was able to do in you. But now you got scared and you began to sink. And you were so close to getting it. You just stick with me and next time you'll get it. I think he was encouraging us and encouraging Peter in that event. God wants to encourage you. God has plans for you. You know in Jeremiah 29:11, that verse, he says, I know the plans I have for you. They are for good and not for destruction. Galatians 6:9, do not lose heart in doing good, for at a proper time you'll receive your reward if you don't give up. Throughout the Bible, God encouraged us to do well. Even with Cain and Abel, he went to Cain and says, if you do well, will you not too be received? I mean, God always has encouraged us to follow him and stay close. That's what he did with Peter. Oh, you have little faith. Why did you doubt? Peter, you were so close. And God looks at you and says, child, you are so close. You're so close to getting it right. Stick with me. Keep your eyes on me, and I will take you all the way. And eventually that all the way takes us all the way to heaven, all the way to glory, if we put our faith in him, trust in him, and walk with him. If we have the fruit that shows we have the faith, and that's done by following him and keeping our eyes on him. Well, I hope that you can do that. I hope that you're willing to get out of the boat. I hope you don't get scared and start to sink. But if you do, if you get in trouble, all you have to do is call out to Jesus, and he will help you. When I started my preaching career, I remember reading that passage. And I remember said, Lord, if you call me, I'll come. And that's what I've done. And God has blessed that for me over the years. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you have a wonderful day in the Lord. May God bless you, and may you have a blessed day. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.